Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar today. We are delighted to have one of our partners, ADP, joining us. Rob Boyson will be presenting on why evolve your business practices. And as a reminder, we are recording this webinar, so it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And you can find our library under our resources tab on our website, and that is innovia.com. And we also encourage you to ask questions during our presentation. So please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will get them answered during our Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I'm going to turn it over to Rob to kick off our presentation.
Thank you, Angie, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rob Boyson. I'm with ADP. I'm responsible in maintaining the partnership for ADP and Innovia, where we've actually, really enjoyed this partnership for roughly the last 2.5 years, and it's always evolving, and there's always some great solutions and practices we're able to provide to you. So really was hoping to maybe talk to you all today about why evolving your business practices. Why, having a good conversation with one of my former leaders that I'm friends with, well, a leader that I'm friends with, roughly around 2 years ago at the beginning of COVID, probably about three months into it, really defined COVID as a turning moment for his organization. He described it as a forced assessment for his business. And it really lines up to a lot of things that we're seeing today coming out of COVID, and really why you need to involve your business practices, identify different workflows, processes, automations, and even really how you conduct some of your business in the back office environments today. And COVID was a key driver of that. I think every leader would suggest or understand that there's two top issues challenge for mid-market organizations today. The number one is supply chain, and number two is the labor markets. Either one of those two could flip-flop from a 1 to 2 priority. ADP necessarily can't address, I would say, the supply chain area, but we definitely are the experts and have expertise as long as data sets when it comes to the labor markets. So I want to share with you today some of the interesting trends that we're seeing out of that. So that being said, why will 2022 be like no other year? Well, we're seeing some unique data correlating from the Department of Labor that's really driving and changing the labor market. For instance, it's putting the employee in the driver's seat. And this is definitely reflective of some of the stats we're seeing from the Labor Department today. So for instance, 3.9 unemployment percentage. We have a 0.7 unemployment persons per open job. Essentially, there's not even one person for every job applicant in the industry, in the market today. A 6.6 vacancy rate and a 3% voluntary quit rate. This voluntary quit rate of 3% is the highest it's ever been in over 25 years. So what's coming out of this? What trends are we seeing from the determination or the development of these labor markets? Let's talk about that. So we're seeing some unique trends being driven today in the labor markets. So for instance, we're seeing employee visibility being redefined. Really, with the hybrid workplace in place, gig workers, employees are seeking new ways to understand how to, and how to manage this workforce. People and purpose are driving the workplace culture. How you're connecting to your employees in this new culture is critical. We'll talk a little bit about that. And reliable data and expertise is going to power resiliency. So really what that means is, with these changes in the workforce, with the shift of the power being driven in the employee's hands, we're also seeing more regulation and compliance driven to the mid-market organizations than we've ever seen from our governments. That's also driving some change. And then in addition, greater innovation is going to accelerate growth. The reality is we're seeing a lot of investments in technology. It's a must-have, but it's how are you utilizing that technology to its fullest? Is it the right technology that's driving to your agreed-to goals and priorities? So these are the trends that we're really seeing in 2022. Let's talk a little further about some of these trends in detail. So for instance, the employee visibility redefined. So there's two sides of the pendulum here. 63% of employees we polled, would like to look for a job that's 100% remote work or prefer a job that allows remote work. Yet, 38% of managers usually prefer to have their team work in the office from HBR 2020 survey. So there's really a great divide here, what the employees want and what the employer wants, or the leadership of that employer. What's correlating to that is, we're seeing this great resignation now be the great shuffle. There's been a clear shift. It's putting employees in the driver's seat. And employers are left behind to truly better understand what motivates their workers. How do they attract them? How do they retain the best people? And that's indicative. 75% of the workforce changed how and where they live. And so we're seeing the correlation of that of 66% of small and medium-sized U.S. workers have a hybrid workforce model in place because of that. Some other factors we're seeing, for instance, 24.2 million quits in April, September of 2021. With September of 2021 at a 4.4 million quit rate. It's the highest quit rate in 20 years. The reality is hybrid work is here to stay. The employers have been forced their hand. Employees, expect this new flexibility in how and where they work, but most importantly, without feeling disconnected to the work and their leaders and the teams. That's the challenge that we're seeing a lot of employers face today. We're going to talk a little bit about the solutions and how we can solve for that as well further in this presentation. In addition to that, let's now move to the people and purpose and how they're going to drive a workplace culture. So, really quick, 70% to 76% of employees polled said working from home after the pandemic makes them happier. But then 68% of the executives believe to keep a strong company culture, they need employees in the office at least 3 times a week. Once again, there's a big shift between the employees and the employers. So let's go into that a little deeper here. We all know that frankly, that workers today, engaged are more productive. It's the reality here. And to be fully engaged, how do you keep that employee engaged in this new, I guess you could say, remote environment? So a lot of organizations are struggling truly of new ways to keep these employees engaged, retain them, attract them. And this is really how the new culture is being driven, and it's being driven by the employees. We'll talk a little bit about that, how the employer can react and what tools they can put in place to drive a successful engagement. So data and expertise, power and resiliency. So this is an interesting one. I've spoken with many HR leaders in the industry today over the course of the last year and a half, and a resounding number of them have stressed that this is the most compliance and regulation that they've ever had to deal with from an organizational perspective. 64% of the businesses intend to increase HR budgets, nearly doubling the budgets to try to address those issues or concerns. And 61% of those businesses intend to increase technology, to grow areas of security, BI, and data analytics. So this is also referring to some other stats that we're seeing. So, we're seeing independent contractors in the environment, FLSA issues, vaccine mandates. Employers are facing a wave of increased regulation burden, access to timely and accurate data. And really HR departments are really scrambling. HR leaders are trying to prioritize DE&I issues related to compliance and talent challenges. Organizations are fully designing and changing management are top priorities for 2022. So it's leaving 48% of HR leaders concerned. And that's not it. Just recently, there was a Forbes survey of over 500 HR directors. A resounding 98% of the HR individuals or leaders stated that they're burnt out. That's an astonishing number. And a lot of it has to do with not having the right tools or resources or support factors to really address not some of these needs, but also the compliance areas in your business. So lastly, of the trends we're seeing is, the acceleration of growth and how you're going to leverage technology. So as I meant, is we're seeing, leadership is investing in HR. They're prioritizing the building of these skills and competencies. We're seeing that in these trends, both from Gartner. But, what's interesting enough is 48% of Chiro stated that their current technology solutions hinder their employee experience. 24% struggle to fully understand how evolving technology will impact their process. So what that truly tells me is there's investments being made in technology, but are individuals truly getting the utilization out of their investment? Skills management, is the highest adoption rate. We're seeing monumental change from individuals from an employee standpoint of their new role and changing role, yet HR leaders are struggling with the training curriculum needed to help those individuals be successful in those new roles or and all those new responsibilities they're taking on. So really, this is the great divide here from a technology perspective we're seeing in the HR spectrum. So really, we talked about these 4 trends. We talked about 2022 and really why organizations now need to take a look at their back office and explore different options that truly are maybe a different way of thinking that they've always treated their back office environment. Hence, this is the true value of an ADP partnership with Innovia. ADP provides a unique solution from a technology and support standpoint that drives adaptability. We leverage your internal and external data insights to help you make critical business decisions. This capability, by leveraging multiple technology solutions and platforms, various support models, drives stability. What I mean by that, through the partnership of a stable partnership, it's a partner that can pivot as your organization grows, retracts, mergers, acquisitions. We have multiple capabilities to support your business. Let's talk about that. First and foremost, it all starts with ADP's #1 HRS 2 years in a row awarded by G2 Crowd. G2 Crowd is sort of the Emmys, you could say, or Grammys of the software industry. It's a full hire retire solution, meaning we're offering capabilities in a unified database, one database, from recruitment all the way to retirement. We then have you can think of it as we have a ADP marketplace with over 400 applications, fully vetted API applications. Hence, this is where our Microsoft connections reside, available for you to expand. As well as our HRS is a fully mobilized solution. This technology capability is the backbone of our offering, regardless of the service model that organizations leverage today. And that feature of the capability to leverage through multiple service models is truly the differentiator in our market. So for instance, ADP offers a full standard SaaS outsourced technology model with a dedicated account manager. But then these two next columns, I guess you could say, are truly the key differentiators of an ADP partnership. We have the ability to leverage the same technology model, but you also have then the ability to leverage something that you'll all be familiar with this term, a managed service model. You have the capability to actually outsource specific tactical functions of your back office environment, leveraging that same technology model, in addition to the ability to offset your compliance and risk. A lot of organizations are struggling today to become an employer of choice because of all of the noise that I just aforementioned. The ability to drive utilization in technology, the ability to strategically work on talent attraction and retention efforts because of the compliance and the complexity it is in the back office nowadays. ADP has that capability to alleviate some of that stress. Let's talk about it a little bit differently here. So this is your traditional employer model. You're managing multiple vendor relationships. It's time and labor intensive for you as an employer. You have workers' comp, OSHA areas, retirement filings, all of your insurance benefits, your life, dental, and then, the human resources aspect, the compliance, EEOC, recruitment, training, talent attraction. This is all going on in the traditional model. Through an ADP managed service partnership, we are able to eliminate a lot of that stress by taking over some of these functions on your behalf, mitigating your compliance and risk needs. We do that through the co-employment model of ADP Total Source. We minimize the administrative vendor administration burdens, streamline processes through cost efficiencies, lower risk, and enhance the employee experience, while also focusing on gaining HR support without increasing headcount. We can, as we mentioned, scale to your needs. This all drives optimization of productivity. You gain a competitive edge and enriches the lives of your workforce by offering Fortune 500 benefits. So through that capability, we're able to provide you a solution that not alone will provide you savings from a tactical and resource standpoint, but also a true cost savings benefits to the organization. Just as we do with the technology perspective, providing you an end-to-end solution that can scale to the mix of technology, products, and services you need, we're also going to provide you shared strategic resources. So what I mean by that is we're going to provide you ADP recruiters, integrate with the ZipRecruiter embedded intelligence, provide solutions and strategic training, development, and engagement solutions, handle your payroll and tax, HR and compliance aspect, automatically registering for state tax and compliance records, analytic and benchmarks. I'll talk about this a little later in the presentation. How we will allow you to drive data through ADP and a Microsoft BI solution that truly gives you the ability to make intelligent business decisions, leveraging internal and external data. Performance and compensation, driving that retention efforts and improving in your current workforce. Time and scheduling, tracking. ADP is the leader in time solution management, offering 3 flavors of time. There's not one environment that we can't support. For instance, 24-hour shifts, unions, multiple rates of pay, shift differentials. You name it, ADP can handle the time perspective. And we're also going to manage your benefits costs and reduce some of the premiums. And last but not least, focus on the tax credits and incentives and retirement. These are solutions. These are not just technology solutions. These are live individuals that will provide you resources to from a strategic standpoint and mapping out your program. So here's the team that's going to help you do that. We provide you a key account manager, a payroll advisor, HR business partners, risk and safety consultants, benefits specialists, My Life advisors, we'll talk about that a little bit, tax consultants, technology specialists, and HR investigation teams. So these are all individuals available to you through the ADP Managed Service Outsourcing Partnership. You don't necessarily may need all of them, but you would be granted individuals based on the level and the solutions defined. We have the ability to truly tailor the needed solution. You have the options to outsource specific functions based on your current environment. So this payroll advisor is going to, manage the compliance, provide legislative guidance on the payroll aspects of your business. An HR business partner is going to provide you HR strategic advice to solve critical business challenges. Basically, going to consult on various aspects of HR management, including talent, benefits, compliance, helping the assistance of building standard operating procedures. Yes, SOPs. We will build SOPs for you. They'll be available for you. And so you always have that foundation of your back office environment. Risk and safety consultants. We're going to help you drive down that workers' comp policy and make sure it stays down. Benefit specialists going to be examining, we'll talk about a little more, some of, some benefits, some census information, how we can help you, drive those premiums down. The tax consultant's always going to work with you on those fun tax concerns or issues that you might have. And technology specialists, we're going to ensure that you're driving and getting the full utilization of the technology platform that you have invested in. Then HR investigative teams, you have the ability for individuals to work with you in harassment and discrimination and workplace inquiries. These are all specialists available to you as well. It all starts, though, with the key account executive. The key account executive really is you think of it as your main point of contact. These are traditionally, PhD level individuals that will work with you in strategic organizational projects, supporting HR developments, assisting those SOPs, making sure that, our goals are, our solutions, our strategies are aligned to your priorities and goals, working directly with the C-suite within the organization on a quarterly basis, leveraging the analytics and tools and insights to give you internal as well as outside perspectives of your business. Your client will have access to this human resource business partner. It's going to happen, to really tackle some of the day-to-day functions as well. The My Life Advisors piece is a unique piece. It's really on the basis of promoting an engaged employee population. We will provide you a dedicated call center team that is focused in supporting solely your employee population. So no more of the request is, I need a copy of my check. Can I get my copy of my W-2? I need to make a benefits elective change. I need to make some additional changes to my insurance. I need to add a child or a dependent or beneficiary. The My Life Advisors team is a dedicated team that will handle the day-to-day HR issues, questions, requests of your employee population. The focus here, once again, is to drive the employee engagement and maximize the happiness and minimize the dissatisfaction of your employee population. So, the Fortune 500 benefits piece. When you're attracting employees, mid-market organizations struggle at times to provide benefits close to that Fortune 1000 space. With an ADP total source solution, no longer is that a concern. We will pull your employee population into a employee population of roughly 700,000 employees. In essence, what that's allowing you to do is you're able to reduce your premium spends while increasing your benefits claims, your benefits offering to your current existing employee population, as well as your attraction efforts. And typically we see savings through this analysis from an organization. Main areas of medical, dental, vision, but as you can see, many ancillaries are also available through our program, through our preferred partnerships. So the benefits piece and how we drive that is we drive that through administrative compliance by working with HR, 62% of HR professionals. So the administrative reporting requirements were the biggest challenge related to benefits in ACA. We manage all that piece for you from the benefits perspective. We're going to drive cost controls and forecasting affordability, working with you on planning cycles, and considering what benefits might be best for your organization. Running group demographic needs and information. For instance, millennials, baby boomers, looking at your demographics internally, and then taking that data and looking at it externally and leveraging those to drive intelligent business resources. That goes into benchmarking and market conditions. And then we're going to provide you multiple plan and contribution structure opportunities. Once again, driving benefits for your organization, specifically to what your organization needs and what's the best for you and your employee population. We talked a lot about the manage aspect piece. And this is how we can help organizations such as yourself really in that employee attraction game by providing these additional resources, freeing up your internal resources internally and giving you expert level expertise to drive strategic programs within your organization. and maybe reduce some of the tactical aspects of your business. But it all comes down to leveraging data and integration. As we've talked about many years, for the last 2 years with my Inovia partnerships and my Inovia partners, gone are the days of the HCM or HRS world siloed from the ERP. 86% of mid-market CFOs expect to increase their investment in operational efficiency technology. They expect increased efficiency, they expect improved data integrity and improved collaboration. They want a defined integrated solution between the ERP and HCM. ADP, unlike all of our competitors today, has a solution set for both Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, and Finance. A full 360 vetted API readily available today through our marketplace, where organizations can actually truly see the connection of data flow to the employee card as well as the GL instance within Microsoft Business Central, as well as Business Finance. Why is that important? Well, data analytics, is really the big key driver in understanding your business today. Understanding workforce data is just as critical as understanding your supply chain data. Through the ADP award-winning Data Cloud solution, we provide reporting and analytics, predictive analytics, benchmarking, and executive and manager insights. And we're providing all this data based on our internal data sets and as well as external data sets. Keep in mind, ADP's employee data is leveraged by the Department of Labor Jobs Report. We publish it on a monthly basis. So getting a little bit further, we're driving people analytics and enhanced insights. So people analytics is the capability of leveraging our data sets. So data analytics and leveraging data is, the key buzzword or a big driver in the environment today. A lot of organizations, a lot of institutions claim that they have great data analytics solutions. I've stayed very keen to this statement. A data analytics tool is only as good as the integrity of the data. Our data analytics Data Cloud solution, external data sets, is benchmarked by over 30 million employees in over 92,000 organizations. Not one of my HRS providers can state that, because not one of my HRS providers today exceed 92,000 clients in the mid-market space. So we're going to leverage that external data to provide you insights from an executive and manager standpoint. When you push those insights directly to mobile phones, provide you key metrics that matter to your workforce, provide you storyboards, AI information, such as maybe what percentage of your employee population may be at risk for leaving that organization. DE&I dashboards available to you as a fly. The enhanced insights, benchmarking, salary benchmark information of those 30 million and 92,000 organizations across the country, minimized to even the zip code level. And this is actual pay data that ADP pays employees. This is not surveyed information. Allowing you to also benchmark your annual compensation and workforce compensation, your internal data sets against these external data sets. Turnover prediction, data mashups, I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a little bit. And organizational benchmarks, compare your head count and span control with your industry peers. So what does this data provide you? Well, it differentiates the way we can solve critical client problems, such as your own. For instance, you can use our data benchmarking tool to accelerate time to fill expanding talent pools, benchmark your offers, optimize your recruiting process. Looking at your internal data sets, we can optimize labor costs Improve your bottom line by calibrating your labor costs and identifying and reducing overtime. Retain and engage on talent. Many people don't necessarily realize, but there is a risk for individuals who may leave an organization to have a long commute. Think of that. If that person may be at risk of leaving the organization. Leveraging insights such as like that through AI tools that we provide you at data sites right at your hands. And then we're going to foster an inclusive culture. Strengthen your productivity with your employers by enhancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, providing you wage equity stats, and providing you also salary benchmarking. So how do we bring this all together? As of today, Microsoft Power BI and ADP Data Cloud seamlessly connect. We have the ability to analyze. You have the ability through this free connection, as long as you're an ADP client and Microsoft Business Central 365 user. This is a free API connection. It has the ability to analyze financial, operational, and HCM data all in one place. Select your desired HCM metrics from an HR recruiting, payroll, time, etc. to export, and you can visualize, analyze, modify, and overlay all within BI. Truly, for once, you can have the power of ADP's data within Microsoft BI. I want to thank you all for your time today. My name is Rob Boyson once again. I am ADP representative responsible managing the ADP Inovia partnership. This is just a little tip of the iceberg over the value we can bring through an ADP Inovia partnership. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Angie, at this time, I'd like to pass it back over to you.
Great, thanks, Rob. Currently, we don't have any questions that have come through. I'll give a few moments and do some closing remarks, and we'll see if anything has come through. So just to give you guys some information that you can check out on our website, we do have more of our upcoming events, and you can look for those at inovia.com/events. And you can also check out our training workshop page, and that's inovia.com/workshops. We have a variety of workshops to fit your role, so check out the ones that are right for you and your team. And don't forget to check out the whole workshop catalog. We do have some past workshops that we have done, and you can request a particular workshop if you would like. And if you haven't heard our latest on the Inovia Conversation podcast, we have a library of podcast episodes for you to listen to, and you can learn more on our podcast page, and that's inovia.com/podcast. So browse the selection and subscribe so you'll get notified when those new episodes air. And I believe, Rob, you did one a while back with Jeff and Steve, so you guys can go through and find that episode.
It was fun.
And don't forget about our conference. We have our conference coming up next week, May 4th and 5th at the University of Notre Dame. It's still not too late to register, so if you are interested in attending, please do so. We are closing registration April 29th. That is tomorrow. So please register if you're interested. You can come meet Rob. He'll be there representing ADP, and also meet our Inovia team, ISV partners, and our clients. Well, Rob, it doesn't look like any questions have come through. I just want to thank you for presenting today, and thank everyone for joining us. And if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out.
All right. Well, thank you, Angie.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Inovia webinar. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.